Hey guys, welcome you all. A very warm welcome and a good evening. Guys, today we are here to discuss about the factors that actually influence our career growth. As in the first session, we discussed about the conventional approach by which in the early years, or we can say that in our generation we were used to choose our careers, right? As at that time we always choose our careers in influence of our parents, in influence of our teachers, or influence of our relatives. But today, in this modern approach, yesterday we discussed about the modern approach, how we should choose our careers, what are the factors we should take care of when we should choose our careers and all, right? And today we will discuss about few factors which actually impact on our career growth, which actually influence our career growth. So there are five different factors which we are going to discuss about today, right? Out of that, the first factor, that is interest. Guys, before going forward, I request you to please follow us on Inspiring People India on Instagram. Also, if you just like my video, just click on the like and share it, right? And now we will discuss about the factors. As the first factor I told you about, that is the interest, right? So it is always advisable to choose a career option based on your interest. As it's always said that if you do what you love, then your work becomes a joy for you, and you do not have to work even a single day, because then the work becomes enjoy for you, right? So always take a look at things that you do well. Also try to identify your interest areas. There are so many ways to identify things that you can do well in your life. There are so many ways to identify those areas. You can do some assessments that are available online, or you can also consult some of the career counselor or some of the career coach to whom you know. Or if you are in your college, so you can always discuss about your mentors, your TPA. So there are a lot of people to whom you can discuss about those things, because they would be the ideal persons to tell you about your strengths, about your weakness, and everything, right? So you never know, some of the things you enjoy doing daily can actually be the component of your future career. For example, let's suppose you are having interest in computers. So there are a lot of options available in computer domain itself, right? Now, the main thing is that in which domain your interest is. Your interest is into the software development, your interest is into the designing parts, your interest is into the gaming part. You want to be an animator, you want to be a YouTuber, you want to be a blogger. So there are a lot of options available, even in the computer science stream. So that is you, which where you have to find your interest areas. And if you are not able to do that, then it's always better to consult someone who can help you to find your interest areas, your strengths, your weakness. So that is the first factor. Now we will talk about the next factor. That is the skills. As to do anything in this world, we need some skills. And if we talk about the skills always get generated from our birth itself. After the birth, when we start our journey, we learn how to speak, we learn how to move. These are the skills we get from our birth. Then when we go to the school, we do some activities, we take part into some let's suppose the functions and all such things. We do take some participation in the other activities, the speaking, the listening. So there are a lot of activities we do in our regular life, and some of the skills got generated by those activities in ourselves. But the main skills to do a job, those are the skills which can be developed later by experiencing new things, by taking trainings, a lot of things you can do to generate, to develop those skills. Right. The trick lies in identify your skills. That's the main thing. Once you identify your skills, then you can just perfect them. Let's suppose you are best in speaking, right? And you want to be a good public speaker. You want to go somewhere where you can just do a public speaking for thousands of people. But before that, you have to generate some skills for that, because you should know the topic on which you can speak for hours. The career paths that complement your skills and talents are the ones you should opt for. The right skill for the right job leads to the career progression. That's the key to success. For example, let's suppose you can be a digital marketing specialist, you can be a public speaker, you can be a content writer, you can be a blogger, you can be a musician, you can be a singer. These all are the skills, these all are the skill sets. But let's suppose you want to become a singer. It's always fine that you can sing well in your daily life. But if we talk about the professional singing, so for that you have to learn music. At least you have to learn about the basic techniques, right? So those are the skill sets. It's fine that you can sing well by birth, right? That's absolutely fine. But the skills can be developed later to make it perfect. Let's suppose you want to be a musician, and at the age of 10 years or 12 years, you take the music as a subject in your school, you perform there well, everything goes well, but still in school itself you are learning for that. And later, to become a perfectionist in the music, you can just take some of you can say that the trainings from some professionals and all that. All the singers, all the musicians, all the writers, all the bloggers, they have always taken the trainings of that, and now they are doing everything in their life in a perfect way. So the second factor that we are talking about is the skills. Now we will go to the third factor, that is the training. As I told you, that once you have finalized your skills, once you have finalized your skill set where you want to go, once you have chosen your career path where you just want to go, now is the time to take a training for the same, to become a perfectionist. While you might have the right skills needed for the job, it is always imperative that you work towards being the best at your job. This is possible with the help of some trainings. An industry expected level of training and education is the general requirement for the same, after which you can work in certain industry. Be sure to choose your training programs that help you get the next level of your career. For example, whenever we join any industry, we all know that everybody goes for a training part. Whether it's for a day, whether it's for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, it can be for a month too, right? But everybody goes for a training before joining for the main parts. Let's suppose you are a mechanical engineer, right? And you have joined some plant, manufacturing plant, let's suppose, right? And on the first day of your joining, do you think that company will send you to directly to the plant? Absolutely not. They will give you training for that. They will give you the training of every division before sending you to the plant so that you can handle things in a better way. One more example. Let's suppose you are a digital marketing expert, right? And you are so good at social media, digital marketing. You are so well in performing the Facebook ads, in putting the Facebook ads. You are so well on putting the Insta ads. You're so well in those parts. And you have a bit knowledge of Google ads, but you are not having a wide knowledge of Google ads. So you can have the training to become the expert. So third factor, that is the training. But for training too, you have to choose the right institution, you have to choose the right person from which you are taking the training. That's the main thing, right? So, the next fourth factor that affect our career growth, that is our attitude. What you feel about your work has a direct impact on your quality of work. Don't you think so? If you think the positive things of your work, you will definitely perform better. If you have some negative thoughts about your work, you won't be able to perform better there in the industry. So, a positive attitude results in the positive work being put into the job, while a negative attitude hampers your career growth. A person with a positive attitude can manage high levels of stress. He can manage high levels of responsibilities because he is self motivated. He's a positive attitude. Right. Let's suppose sometime it happens in our life that while working for a product or for a company, we get bored or some negative thoughts comes in our mind, right? Now what would be the result of negative thoughts on our work? You will lose your interest and you will not be able to work hardly for that industry or for that product, and definitely it will impact on your performance, right? And on the other hand, if you are doing something with a positive attitude, you are so positive about the product, you are so positive about the industry where you are working, and everything is positive in your mind. So, what would be the result then? Obviously, when you will work with a positive attitude, your performance will definitely increase. So, the fourth factor that actually impacts our career growth, that is our attitude. Now we will talk about our fifth factor, that is availability of jobs in our interest area. Right. While choosing your career, you need to be sure of the job options after reaching at a certain level. As an MBA from the top distance education colleges or the universities will open the gates of a lot of industries according to your specializations. You need to pick an industry where you can see growth for yourself. Sometimes the location plays a very vital role in that. Some of the people, they are habitual of staying with their families and all, right? So they always prefer to work with the local industries. Yes, absolutely fine. The local industries give you a great exposure, right? But can they give you that sort of growth which you are expecting in your career? Do you think so? It may be not, right? So if you feel you cannot grow in a certain position or in a city, so you can consider the other factors. You can relocate to the metropolitan areas. You can relocate to some of the NCR areas, wherever you just look fine, wherever you see the opportunities for your career growth. You can relocate to those locations. You can relocate to metro areas where you just find that there are a lot of work options for you, even if you reach on a certain level. Because see, once we reach on certain level, then we always have to see about our next growth. Nobody can grow on a higher level while staying there in a small city. We always have to relocate. So we have to consider those factors also. Your first job, your job profile, and change in career are the decisions that you will be taking. It can safely be said that your choices contribute to your career growth. As let's suppose you choose your career with a small industry in your town itself, right? But how long you can serve there, because that industry has a limitation. Maybe it will grow in future, but how big it can go, as it's a small city, right? So you have to consider those factors also while choosing your career growth. So these are the five factors about which we discussed today, that which actually directly or indirectly impacts our career growth. So, guys, if you have any question about your career, about the career growth, or you want to discuss about anything in your future, your career, so you can follow us, you can join our WhatsApp group. The link is given in the bio, right? Or if you have any question, you can directly comment on the video. You can follow us. You can also WhatsApp me directly for the same, or you can book a one-to-one personal consultation slot with me, and where I'll be happy to help you in any manner that I can. As being the founder and director of Inspiring People India, I just want to thank you all for listening to me, and I would like to thank you all for sparing some of your time for this video. I'll be waiting for another 1 minute for your questions. If you have any question, you are most welcome. Otherwise, I'll be just putting you. But before that, don't forget to follow us on Inspiring People India. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks, guys. Bye bye. Take care.